Good day, all, and welcome to another edition of Local Legislator Live at 11. I'm your host, Charles Gates. And have you ever known anyone in your family or friends that came up with this special ingredient, this special food that was exclusive to your family alone? Many of us are in that situation. Grandma's homemade recipe, grandma's homemade sauce, grandpa's something that he makes in the backyard in the garage. But how do you get that concept from the kitchen to the marketplace? Well, our guest this morning is going to show us just how to do it. This morning, our guest is none other than Dadrian Watkins. He is a founder, CEO, sales manager, product designer for No Shades, of No Shades Food Company. Welcome this morning, Dadrian.
Hey, thanks for having me, Charles. It's a pleasure to be here.
Sure, always a pleasure, always a pleasure. And like I say every week, we have a special guest, and this gentleman here is the epitome of an entrepreneur, because we all know that an entrepreneur is simply a problem solver who has figured out how to monetize that idea to solve people's problems. All right, Dadrian, let me jump right into this and let me start asking you some questions.
All
What
right.
is the story behind No Shades Food, and what do you offer?
All right. Well, the story behind No Shades Food, it starts back when me and my wife first got together. We used to barbecue all the time. We didn't need an excuse to barbecue. It'd be snowing outside, raining outside. As long as we can get the barbecue grill lit, we were throwing something on the grill. And after years of my wife having some sickness and illness, we found out that she had a sensitivity to nightshades, which a lot of people don't know what nightshades are, but primarily they are potatoes, tomatoes, peppers, all those plants and vegetables. So when she found out she had that allergy, we had to stop barbecuing. We couldn't buy sauce, that we couldn't find anything that didn't have nightshades in it. So I looked at her one day. I had some beets in the kitchen. I said, "That's about the color of barbecue sauce. I think I can make that into a barbecue sauce." And she thought I was crazy. She literally thought I was crazy. And I was like, "Okay, well, let me get some beets. What can I put in here? Some blueberries." And I went and got some recipes for barbecue sauce. And I was like, over the course of 5, 6 years, pulling out things and adding things in, we finally came up with a barbecue sauce that was nightshade free, gluten free, all natural, and no preservatives, and still has a shelf life of 2 years. And that was all from just taking the time to figure it out. Even though my wife thought I was a mad scientist, she just thought I was losing my mind, because I'd spend days on end making 9, 10 cups of barbecue sauce, and it was nasty. It was just horrible. Tasted like beets. But now it tastes just like a barbecue sauce that you get from the store shelf. And right now, the only thing we offer is the Carolina style blueberry beet barbecue sauce. And we have more sauces on the line ready to come out.
Okay, now before I ask you this next question, I just want our audience to know that I do have my own bottle of No Shades barbecue sauce. And let me tell you something, you notice it's not full. And the reason it's not full is because I have been purposely going out to get barbecue to put this sauce on it, whether I had a taste for it or not. And it is delicious, my personal testimony. Now, Dadrian, what is the process of taking a recipe from the kitchen to store shelves in restaurants?
All right. Now, particularly with barbecue sauce, the state of Virginia, they require that you go through certain types of tests. You can't just take it straight to market because they have to test it. So the simple theory is you just contact the Department of Agriculture. Once you have your recipe all together, you contact the Department of Agriculture. There's a point of contact there. They actually will take your sauce, they will test your sauce, they will create a nutrition label for you, they will tell you the shelf life of your sauce, and they will also tell you the process to cook the sauce to make sure all your ingredients cook down properly to get the consistency that you need. And once you get that done, it's a lot of just moving pieces. You got to get your own UP barcode. And that's simple. You buy it yourself. Don't let anybody do it for you, because if they do, they're going to charge you 10 times more. You just go and get a UPC code. Then you get a label maker, or you can make your own labels. But I decided to go with a label maker so I could get a waterproof label, because you can't do that at home. It's just hard to get a label maker that would do that at home. But it's so simple. It's a longer process than you would think, but they were going to charge me $750 to have the state tested. The state tests it for $60 if you go
Really?
directly to them.
So
So when you
cutting out the middleman makes a difference.
it makes a whole lot of a difference, and it takes the same amount of time. So if you had the middleman in there, it might add a week to the process. But if you just go directly to the state, you pay $60, you save yourself 700 bucks right there. And then the state comes back to you in 4 weeks with everything that you need to put on a label and go straight to market.
Wow, wow. Again, we are Local Legislator live at 11, where we make local government and business simple. And the purpose of this interview is to make business simple in terms of product creation and product distribution. And who could we have better than Dadrian Watkins, founder of No Shades Food, with us today? And by the way, Dadrian is from the Hampton Roads area of Virginia. So he is a local product of Virginia. Now, speaking of labels, and I'm going to put this bottle up again. How did you come up with the labeling? It's so simple and clean and plain, and the bottling concepts.
Well, the bottling concept, I contacted a co-packer, and what a co-packer is basically a manufacturer that will take your recipe and produce it for you. They tasted the sauce and they just said this bottle would be perfect for that sauce. So that came from the co-packer. And when it came down to actually getting the label itself, I went to store after store after store and just looked at barbecue sauces on the shelves. And I was like, which one do I want to kind of look like, or which one do I want to emulate? And I wanted the sauce to look clean, and I wanted it to be attractive to people who have nightshade allergies, because people who have nightshade allergies, when they look at a bottle, they can tell right off the bat if it's something they can have or not have. And having the blueberry and the beet right there and barbecue sauce would make people pause and go, what is this? And when you pick it up, it says nightshade free, which is a whole new food category, which I didn't know was a new food category. I just figured nightshade free, but we decided on clean, and I found a label that kind of looked like that. We stayed really clean. I sent it off to the label maker, and he was shocked at the cleanness of the label I sent to him. And all he did was make a logo to go with it and said, this is it. This is your national brand. You're already a national brand.
Wow. All right. Now you have your concept, you have your labeling, you have your bottling. Now it's a matter of getting it out to the public. I'm going to ask you two-part questions rather. Marketing. How are you marketing offline in stores, restaurants, brick and mortars?
Well, right now, as far as stores, I'm going into the stores, like convenience stores, mom and pop shops, just explaining the concept of the sauce. And I let them know that, hey, it's a new product category. It's gluten-free. You have a gluten-free section. And I just create a dialogue with them and let them know my pricing. And I leave a bottle of sauce with them. Many of the stores they'll like to sample, like you open the bottle and pour it. But I like to leave a whole bottle with them because I want them to be able to refer back to the bottle if need be. And as far as restaurants, we haven't moved there yet, but we have the pricing structure in place to move into restaurants to sell by the gallon as opposed to by the bottle. And we have that already in place. So as far as restaurants go, there are a lot of vegan restaurants, which this barbecue sauce is vegan. There are a lot of gluten-free restaurants, and this barbecue sauce is gluten-free. And a lot of restaurants just looking to take their recipes to another level. And this sauce is something that's it's different. It doesn't taste like anything else on the market. And it actually creates a space where people could say, hey, this is an entirely gluten-free barbecue meal, period.
Period. Now, what about online marketing? How are you rolling down that road?
Down online marketing, I'm using Facebook, Instagram, and my own website. As of right now, I'm building a YouTube channel, and the YouTube channel is basically going to set up to educate people, because I had no idea that so many people didn't know what nightshades were. But the only reason I knew what nightshades were is because my wife had a reaction to them. So explaining to people what nightshades are, I'm going to put up a whole educational series on our YouTube channel, which is coming down the line, so that people can understand, because a lot of people don't know they have this allergy. or this reaction, because it's just common things like itchy skin, itchy back of your throat when you eat these items, or swelling of the lymph nodes, exacerbated eczema. So as far as online, I'm just trying to tell a story. So I want people to kind of come along for the ride with me. So if you've followed my Facebook or YouTube, or Facebook or Instagram as of right now, it's not that much on there, but it's basically starting the journey. I took people to the processing plant with me. I started by taking them to the store with me, picking up the ingredients. Then we went to the processing plant. From the processing plant, now we're in one store. I took people there with me. And I want everybody to go on this journey with me to see how a brand starts from the kitchen and ends up on a store shelf.
That is so interesting. And to our viewers out there, if you are enjoying this interview like I am, I'd never even heard of Nightshades before I met Dadrian. If you're enjoying this interview and would like to see more like it, make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel and also become a like friend on our Facebook page. And most importantly, remember to leave us a comment and a request for future guests, and leave us a review. And speaking of reviews, Dadrian, how much stock do you put in reviews?
I put a lot of stock in reviews. Like I was explaining to you before when we were talking, is any type of constructive criticism I can get on the sauce, I am open to it, because I want to make a good product for everyone to be able to enjoy. Even people who don't have aversions to nightshades, I want them to be able to take this sauce and put it up to any other sauce that they would have in their kitchen, and just say, this is just a good sauce. So a lot of people have said that they like a thicker sauce. Well, my sauce is Carolina style, but we have a KC, Kansas City style coming down the line. So I take it into account. And if I don't have the product right now, there's probably a product coming down the line that's exactly what people are asking for.
Okay. Now, I remember when you and I spoke and you handed me the bottle of No Shades barbecue sauce, you were telling me that people were concerned about the thinness of the sauce. And I shook it around. I said, oh, that is rather thin. But I will tell you, when I got it home, it was not like that at all. It's not Heinz ketchup type slow, but it was just the right consistency. And I'm a lover of barbecue anyway. So I guess I don't have too much credibility in this, but, but I will tell you, it was the perfect consistency, because I didn't use too much of it to get the exact flavor that I wanted on all of the product I was eating at the moment. Now, speaking of products, I know your head is just rolling around with different ideas for products to come. Could you share with us what some of those products are going to be in the future?
Yeah, certainly. So like I explained earlier, it's going to be the Kansas City style barbecue sauce, which is still going to be blueberry beet. There's going to be a plum blueberry barbecue sauce coming down the line. We also have honey mustard that's coming down the line, because believe it or not, nightshades are in mustard as well. They use potato starch in pretty much everything. Then we're going to have dry rubs coming from the exact barbecue sauce. So you have a blueberry beet dry rub, and a plum blueberry dry rub. We're going to have spices. We've got a steak seasoning that's already ready to go to the production line. We just need to find the bottle for it. That's all we need. We got the labeling. We just need the bottle that we're going to come up with. We haven't decided on the final design for the bottle yet. And we're just kind of staging it. Eventually, we're going to go into deli meats, and we're just moving further and further. We're going to do snacks, frozen foods. We're moving further and further into the food industry. So that's why we decided No Shades Food, because when we go grocery shopping for my wife, we can't find anything. So every time I find something that she can't eat, No Shades is going to make it. And anybody who has her problem is going to be able to eat.
That's so interesting, because I would imagine there's a lot of people out there who have issues that may not even be aware that they are nightshade related. Again, I never heard of it myself, and I would imagine I have family, friends who have these issues that have no idea what nightshade is, much less the fact that it can be the cause of some of their ailments they probably had for years. Mr. Watkins, how can our listeners and our viewers find out more about you and about No Shade?
Well, I'm an open book. You can go to my Facebook page, which is Dadrian Watkins, at Dadrian Watkins on Facebook. at No Shades Food on Facebook, and Instagram at No Shades Food on Instagram, at Dadrian Watkins on Instagram as well, or Dadrian_Watkins on Instagram. And just follow my journey through the Facebook and through my website. You'll see videos start going up there, educational tutorials, recipes. We have a cookbook that's actually on the line as well. And I'm always reachable directly by phone. I even put my phone number on the website. I put my phone number everywhere. So you can find my phone number on Facebook. If you ever want to call and ask questions, I'm ready to open up. And anybody who has a barbecue sauce, if you want to know how to start, I can let you know exactly how to start. And maybe we can go on this journey together, because it's not competition, it's cooperation.
You sound like you are indeed an open book. And my last question for you, Dadrian, I know you were a Toastmaster at one point. How has Toastmasters helped you along this journey?
Well, that's really funny. Toastmasters has, in the beginning, it made me watch the words that come out of my mouth. It made me stop saying and use all those filler words like those type of words. And that really broadened my horizons as far as conversation goes. And with that broadened horizon, it actually allowed me to be able to speak to anybody. If a CEO is sitting in the room, I have no aversion to just walk directly up to them and just start talking, because I realized through Toastmasters, everybody is just a person. Nobody is better than you. Nobody is worse off than you. It's just everybody's a person and they all speak the same. So it gave me a different type of courage to where I'm going into places and they see you start with the receptionist. I'll walk past the receptionist and say, "Hey, where's the owner? Let me speak to the owner." Well, you need to speak to the manager. Okay, well, let me speak to his manager, because at this point, I just need to speak to decision makers, and I am not shy. And Toastmasters actually gave me that confidence to be able to walk in and say, "Hey, I just need to speak to somebody that makes decisions."
Fantastic. Thank you so much, Dadrian. And for our listeners who don't know, Dadrian and I were members of the same Toastmaster Club when he began that journey. And I do remember your very first day there and how much you have changed and grown. And we are so proud of you and all of your accomplishments. And to our listeners out there, make sure you go out and purchase your bottle of No Shades barbecue sauce. It is some good stuff. Thank you, Dadrian. Thank you so much for being here. You enjoy the rest of your day. Godspeed to you and your family and everything that you do. And we hope to follow your journey, and we wish you much, much success.
Thank you so much, Charles, for having me. And again, that website is noshadesfood.com.
All right, noshadesfood.com. We will leave on that note. And to our listeners out there, remember, we're Local Legislator Live at 11. I'm your host, Charles Gates, where we make local government and business simple. Take care. Until next Wednesday, we'll see you.